Hello, and welcome to a quiet journey through time. Tonight, we will drift slowly into the 1830s, into the vast, untamed wilderness of what would one day become Montana. Imagine yourself surrounded by towering pines, the hush of snow underfoot, the cold, sharp air pressing gently against your face. In this video, you will witness the life of a mountain man, a solitary figure, reliant on skill, patience, and courage. You will see how he fells trees, raises walls, builds a roof, and fashions a fire that defies the cold. You will follow his routine, checking traps, hunting, gathering firewood, and surviving day by day. We will explore his tools, the simple axe, flint and steel, knife, the possibles bag that carries his lifeline, and the ingenuity required to transform raw forest into shelter. Every moment, every log, every spark tells a story of endurance, of solitude, and of quiet triumph over the wilderness. If you enjoy this slow, meditative journey, consider leaving a calm comment, sharing which part of wilderness life fascinates you most, and softly relax as we begin. The forest lies quiet, heavy with the soft hush of approaching winter. Snow drifts along the pines, the wind whispers through the branches. You can almost feel it, the isolation, the stillness, the vastness of the wilderness stretching endlessly in every direction. It is 1834, and the land is untamed, indifferent, yet profoundly alive. A solitary figure moves carefully along a faint trail, a mountain man, each step deliberate, each breath measured. He carries little, only what is essential: an axe, sharp and reliable, a rifle, prepared with powder and flint, a knife, well-oiled and balanced, and a possibles bag containing small items of great importance: tinder, thread, dried meat. Each tool a lifeline, each item carefully maintained. The mountain man pauses, scanning the landscape, looking for signs of game, water, and shelter. Every slope, every shadow, every cluster of trees is observed. He senses the subtle shifts of wind, the quiet rustle of animals moving in the underbrush. In this wilderness, attention is survival, every detail matters. He reflects on the life of the mountain men who came before, men like Jeremiah Winters, relying on skill, intuition, and experience. Their journals speak of long winters, harsh storms, and constant danger, of nights spent listening to the wind, waiting for frost or predator. Survival is not leisurely, it is deliberate, every movement deliberate, every breath measured. The mountain man moves toward a clearing, imagining where the cabin might be built. A south-facing slope offers warmth from the winter sun. Nearby, a spring flows, unbound by ice, a lifeline for water. He visualizes the shelter he must construct: walls to rise, a roof to cover him, fire to provide warmth and comfort. The forest becomes a silent companion in his planning, every tree, every rock, every ridge considered. Even as he walks, he feels the solitude pressing in. The cold is sharp, yet invigorating. The isolation is complete. For days, weeks, or even months, there will be no human voice, only the wind, the forest, and the quiet rhythm of survival. Each step, each observation, a negotiation with the wilderness, a delicate balance of patience, skill, and endurance. He stops by a tall lodgepole pine, straight, strong, rot-resistant. The axe feels right in his hands, ready for the first swing. The tree is chosen with care. Every cut, every notch, every effort will carry consequence. A single mistake could be deadly. Yet with experience comes quiet confidence, each motion a meditation, each decision informed by careful observation. As the morning light filters through the pines, he inhales the crisp air, feeling the rhythm of the forest, the hush of snow underfoot. The first day is quiet, yet alive with purpose. Each moment, each step, each thought is preparation for the labor to come, for the cabin to rise, for life in the wilderness to endure. And as the sun rises higher, the mountain man pauses, surveying the forest, understanding the vastness, feeling the weight of solitude, and embracing the quiet responsibility of survival. Here begins the journey, the delicate dance of skill, patience, and quiet endurance in a wilderness that waits for no one. The mountain man steps quietly through the forest, the soft crunch of snow beneath his boots marking each careful step. The air is crisp, carrying the scent of pine, of frozen earth, of untouched wilderness. He moves deliberately, eyes scanning every tree, every slope, every shadow, looking for a place that will become his sanctuary, his shelter, his lifeline through the coming winter. Choosing the right location is more than preference, it is survival. The slope must face south to catch the weak winter sun, gentle enough for construction, yet elevated to avoid flood or spring runoff. Nearby, a small spring flows, free of ice, vital for drinking, cooking, and cleaning. Its quiet babble provides reassurance, a subtle heartbeat in the stillness. Wind patterns are studied. The mountain man watches the sway of branches, feels the cold gusts on his face. He imagines how snow will drift, how storms will batter the landscape. He chooses natural windbreaks, boulders, ridges, and clusters of trees. They will shield the cabin and protect the fire, offer subtle security. Every detail matters. Trees are inspected with care. Lodgepole pines dominate the clearing, tall, straight, and rot-resistant. Each trunk is tested, tapped lightly with the axe handle, listening for hidden weakness, imagining how each might fall, how each log will fit into the structure. The forest itself seems to watch, silent, patient, a partner in planning. If one listens closely, the ground is examined, snow is brushed aside to feel firmness, roots, frost-heaved rocks, and hidden dips noted. A stable foundation is essential. Without it, walls may shift, floors may sag. The work of days could be lost in an instant. Every step is careful, deliberate, informed by experience, by instinct, by respect for the wilderness. Water sources are mapped in the mind. The spring within easy reach, yet far enough from the cabin to avoid flooding. A nearby creek might freeze, but the spring remains flowing, a quiet reassurance. The location is not convenient. It is practical, chosen to balance safety, warmth, and access to essential resources. The mountain man pauses, kneeling to touch the cold soil, feeling the texture beneath his fingers, imagining the cabin, walls rising from this earth, a roof sheltering him from snow and wind, a fire burning within. His mind rehearses the work, felling trees, raising logs, shaping the roof. Every decision anticipates the labor to come, the rhythm of survival, the quiet flow of days in the wilderness. As sunlight filters through the pines, casting long, shifting shadows, he rises, satisfied. The site is chosen, every factor considered: slope, wind, water, soil, trees, all aligned with purpose. The mountain man inhales deeply, feeling calm, prepared, and quietly confident. For here, the journey begins not with swinging an axe, but with stillness, observation, and careful choice. The foundation of endurance, of survival, and of life in the forest. With the site chosen, the mountain man turns his attention to his tools. The forest around him is silent, save for the whisper of wind through the pines and the soft crunch of snow underfoot. Each item he carries has a purpose, each object is a lifeline, and each must be checked, carefully, meticulously. The axe rests in his hands first, familiar, balanced, sharp. He tests the edge with a few practice strokes, examines the handle, the bindings. The slightest looseness could be disastrous. A dull blade or broken handle might cost life or limb when felling a tree. The axe is not merely a tool, it is an extension of skill, of precision, of patience, of survival itself. Next, the rifle, cleaned and oiled, powder and flint carefully packed. The trigger and lock examined, every inch inspected. It is a lifeline for hunting, protection, and reassurance. Its presence is quiet but comforting, a symbol of preparedness in a land that offers none. The knife follows, sharp, balanced, reliable, for carving, cutting, skinning, and repair. Small but essential, the mountain man feels its weight in his hand, knowing that skill, not force, will determine its usefulness. Every tool has its moment, every action must be deliberate. Then comes the possibles bag, a small pouch of vital items: tinder, thread, dried rations, small shards of flint, rawhide strips. Each piece small, each piece essential. Each item meticulously arranged, ready to meet the unexpected, ready to protect life in a place without help. He examines the bag, imagines how each object might be used, repairs with rawhide, improvises with scrap metal. The wilderness is unpredictable, ingenuity is required. For no one is here to offer aid. Every challenge must be met with skill, patience, and thoughtful action. Fire-making is rehearsed. Flint strikes steel. Sparks land on dry tinder. A small flame flickers to life. A simple act, yet profound. It reminds him that even in isolation, in cold and snow, life can be coaxed, nurtured, and sustained. Confidence grows quietly. The rhythm of survival is forming. Each item is placed within reach. The axe close at hand, the tinder near the planned hearth, the possibles bag hanging nearby. Organization becomes a quiet meditation, a system of efficiency, a framework of safety. Each motion deliberate, reducing risk, conserving energy, preparing for labor, for endurance. He pauses, breathing slowly, inhaling the crisp, pine-scented air, listening to the quiet of the forest, feeling the weight of responsibility. Yet calm prevails, a deep, steady calm. For preparation is the first act of survival, and with the tools ready, the mountain man knows he is as ready as he can be. And so, with site chosen and tools prepared, the first step of building begins, not with the swing of an axe, nor the lifting of logs, but with awareness, careful planning, and the quiet certainty that preparedness can bend even the harshest wilderness to skill, patience, and deliberate action. The mountain man stands before the first lodgepole pine, tall, straight, and silent. Its bark glistens with frost, the morning sun filtering through the branches. The axe feels familiar in his hands, heavy yet balanced, each movement honed by experience. He breathes slowly, centering himself, aware that the forest watches silently, indifferent, yet alive. Felling a tree is more than brute force. It is patience, precision, respect for the materials and the environment. He begins by choosing the fall direction, imagining where the trunk will land, clearing the path of rocks, smaller trees, and hidden obstacles. Every detail matters. A miscalculation can mean disaster. A notch is cut into the tree, a careful wedge on the side facing the fall. The blade bites the wood, small chips falling gently to the snow. The mountain man works rhythmically. Strike, step back, observe, adjust. The sound is steady, deliberate, the motion meditative, as if he and the tree are engaged in a quiet dialogue. A countercut is made on the opposite side, slightly higher than the notch. The tree responds, creaking softly, bending subtly in the intended direction. The mountain man steps back, watching, waiting, feeling the weight of the moment. This is a delicate negotiation between human skill and the natural world. When the tree begins to fall, a controlled, slow descent, he moves to a safe distance, observing the trunk as it lands, the snow muffling the impact. A small cloud of frost rises, and for a moment, all is still. The first tree has become wood, potential shelter. Limbing begins, branches carefully removed, avoiding binding the axe, avoiding slips. Each cut precise, each motion deliberate. The forest seems to breathe around him. The snow sparkles, the wind whispers. The work is exhausting, yet rhythmic, a quiet, physical meditation where skill and effort merge. The axe is maintained constantly, every strike dulls the edge slightly. Each chip of wood tested against the blade, sharpening where needed. The slightest failure could slow progress, or worse, leave him vulnerable to cold or accident. Resourcefulness is vital. Rawhide bindings, careful planning, and meticulous maintenance make the difference between survival and misfortune. As the day advances, the forest remains vast and indifferent, yet the mountain man feels a quiet satisfaction. The logs now lie ready, potential cabins in waiting. Every swing, every cut, every careful observation. a step closer to shelter, to warmth, to life in the wilderness. The work is backbreaking, the cold gnaws at exposed skin. Yet the rhythm of labor, the clarity of purpose, bring focus, calm, endurance. Each movement intentional, each moment observed. This is the art of survival, not in haste or force, but in respect, patience, and careful application of skill. And as the first day of felling concludes, the mountain man pauses, breathing deeply, surveying the trees felled, the forest around him, the snow-dusted earth. The first steps have been taken, the first logs laid bare. The journey of building, surviving, and enduring in the wilderness has begun, quietly, deliberately, meditated in every swing, every breath, every heartbeat. The first logs now lie on the forest floor, tall, straight, and heavy. Each one represents effort, patience, and the promise of shelter. The mountain man steps carefully through the clearing, his breath visible in the cold morning air. The snow crunches beneath his boots, a rhythmic accompaniment to his thoughts. Before the cabin can rise, the foundation must be chosen and prepared. It is not just about leveling logs, but about understanding the land, the soil, the way snow and water will interact. A 10-foot by 12-foot space is marked, small stones and uneven ground noted. The mountain man moves slowly, ensuring that every corner is straight, every log will sit solid, every gap minimized. The foundation logs are selected, thick, durable, straight. They must bear the weight of walls, roof, and snow. They will form the backbone of survival. The first log is placed along the edge, careful measurements taken. Minor adjustments made with axe and lever. The work is deliberate, each motion slow, each placement considered. Notches are cut, the corner connections that will hold the logs together. The saddle notch, rounded and precise, will cradle each log. No gaps can be tolerated. Cold winds will find the smallest opening. Moisture will seep through if the notches are careless. The mountain man works with focus, breath measured, movements deliberate, the rhythm of survival in every swing. Each log is lifted, shifted, and settled. Levers, wedges, and simple ingenuity assist in placing the heavy timber. The forest seems to watch quietly, indifferent, yet alive. The sun shifts overhead, shadows stretching and shrinking, marking time, marking progress. The soil beneath is packed, small rocks adjusted, the base leveled meticulously. Every adjustment reduces future labor, preserves warmth, and ensures stability. It is a slow, methodical process, the rhythm of labor and observation merging. The mountain man pauses often, sensing the ground beneath his hands, feeling the balance of each log, trusting instinct as much as experience. The first corner is complete, a moment of quiet satisfaction. The structure begins to emerge, not yet walls, not yet roof, but a promise, a shape in the snow-dusted clearing. A place where warmth will gather, where fire will burn, where exhaustion and cold will be met with protection. He moves to the next foundation log, repeating the careful process, lifting, notching, adjusting. Each log a quiet meditation, a conversation with the forest, with the land, with survival itself. The air is cold, the muscles ache, yet the mind is calm, focused, deliberate. Every motion reduces risk, builds strength, and reinforces the rhythm of enduring. As the day progresses, the foundation slowly takes shape. 4 logs set, corners aligned, level and steady. The first step toward a cabin, toward home, toward safety. The mountain man steps back, breathes deeply, listening to the wind through the pines, to the quiet whisper of snow settling on branches. The foundation is ready, and with it, the journey of building, enduring, and surviving continues, quietly, deliberately, with patience and care. With the foundation set, the mountain man turns his focus to the walls. Each log now lifted, measured, and positioned, carefully, deliberately. The cold bites at his fingers. The snow crunches softly beneath his boots. The forest remains silent, a quiet companion to his labor. The first wall log is placed atop the foundation, aligned with the saddle notch. It settles with a gentle thud. Each connection is precise, every gap minimized. The mountain man pauses, feeling the balance, the weight, the rhythm of progress. Walls will rise slowly, deliberately, log by log, until shelter emerges from the wilderness. Each subsequent log is lifted with care, the leverage of hands and simple tools tested. The cold makes every movement heavier, muscles protest, yet patience and focus remain. The rhythm of work becomes almost meditative, axe and hands moving in careful cadence, adjusting, leveling, and securing. The forest watches silently, the wind whispering through pine needles, marking the passage of hours. Corner notches are the heart of stability. Each saddle notch cut with precision, the log cradled firmly, no gaps allowed. Cold air, snow, and moisture will exploit the slightest imperfection. The mountain man works slowly, observing each log's weight, its grain, its response to pressure. The rhythm is methodical, deliberate, a dialogue between skill and wood. Snow begins to fall lightly, the flakes drifting silently through the trees. Each landing on shoulders and logs reminds him of the urgency. Winter approaches, and every moment of preparation counts. Yet the work remains calm, controlled, every motion conserving energy, every placement ensuring survival. By midday, for logs have risen on each side, the walls begin to take shape. A simple square emerges, small, humble, yet strong. The space for fire, for sleep, for survival. The mountain man pauses often, eyes tracing the lines of the emerging cabin, imagining the roof, the hearth, the warmth that will gather here. Additional trees are felled nearby, carefully chosen, straight and strong. Each log represents hours of labor. Each swing of the axe, each careful cut, a quiet investment into life, into safety, into endurance. The snow accumulates around him, cold and weighty, yet the warmth of purpose sustains him. The rhythm of the day becomes a meditation. Much, settle, step back, observe. Each motion deliberate, each breath steady. The body works hard, the mind remains calm, focused. Every log in place is a small victory, a quiet assertion over the indifferent forest. By evening, the walls stand sturdy, 4 logs high, aligned and balanced. The mountain man steps back, breath visible in the cold air, surveying his work. There is satisfaction, quiet and steady. The cabin is beginning to rise, a safe haven against snow, wind, and isolation. It is the first visible triumph in a long series of careful, deliberate acts. As the last light filters through the trees, he lifts his gaze to the sky, listening to the whisper of the forest, feeling the cold and the quiet determination in his body. Tomorrow, the work continues, walls will rise higher, and the first steps toward warmth, shelter, and survival will deepen, steadily, deliberately, calmly. With the walls steadily rising, the mountain man shifts his focus to the roof. The timber felled earlier lies ready nearby, long, straight logs, chosen with care, strong enough to bear snow, wind, and time. The forest stretches silently around him, the cold wind rustling through the pines, a subtle accompaniment to his work. The ridge beam, the backbone of the roof, is selected first, its weight substantial, its straightness essential. The mountain man considers angles, balance, and placement, imagining how snow will settle, how the roof will shed water, how each log will interlock with walls. The act of lifting, positioning, and securing is deliberate, slow, measured, a dance of strength and skill. He cuts notches at the ends of each rafter, precise, careful. These will fit snugly onto the ridge beam, a cradle for the roof. Each cut requires focus. One slip could splinter the wood, ruin balance, or cause injury. The mountain man breathes slowly, each swing of the axe a rhythm, a meditation in action. Logs are raised one by one, levers and simple pulley techniques assist. Every movement considers leverage, weight, and stability. The forest remains silent, the snow falling softly, a quiet audience to his labor. The cold bites at fingers and nose, yet concentration and calm perseverance guide each action. Smaller saplings, carefully stripped of branches, are placed across the rafters, forming the framework for the roof covering. The mountain man steps back frequently, observing angles, alignment, and spacing, ensuring that each log sits firmly, that weight is distributed, that future snow will not collapse the structure. The roof begins to take shape, a frame emerging above the cabin walls. The mountain man moves deliberately, methodically, measuring, adjusting, securing. Every motion conserves energy, every placement considered. It is not haste that builds survival, but patience, precision, quiet observation. As the day progresses, fatigue sets in, muscles ache from lifting, balancing, cutting. The cold saps strength. Yet the rhythm of labor provides focus, a steady cadence. Each log lifted, each notch cut, each rafter placed, is a step closer to warmth, shelter, and safety. The forest whispers through the branches, a quiet witness to human ingenuity. By evening, the main framework of the roof is complete. The ridge beam rests solidly, rafters angled and balanced, ready to bear bark, snow, and future storms. The cabin begins to appear whole, not just walls, but a structure capable of sheltering life against the wilderness. The mountain man steps back, breath visible in the cold air, surveying his labor. The quiet triumph is profound, not in grandeur, but in purpose, in the tangible promise of safety and warmth. The work has been deliberate, meditative, an assertion of human skill over the indifferent forest. As twilight deepens, he gathers his tools, pausing to listen to the hush of the trees, feeling the rhythm of his heartbeat, the ache in his muscles, the calm satisfaction of progress. Tomorrow, the bark will be placed, the roof will be sealed, and the cabin will begin to feel like sanctuary, steadily, quietly, deliberately. The framework of the cabin now stands, walls solid, rafters angled, ridge beams secure. The mountain man turns his attention to the roof covering, a task as delicate as it is vital. For the roof will shelter life, warmth, and protection against the wilderness. Long strips of pine bark are selected, peeled carefully from nearby trees, each sheet flexible yet strong, layered like shingles, overlapping to shed rain and snow. The mountain man arranges them methodically, each piece tested for fit and durability. A single gap could allow water or wind to penetrate, compromise the cabin, compromise survival. The act is slow, deliberate, almost meditative. Each placement of bark requires careful balance, reaching over rafters, hands cold, numb from snow, fingers moving with precision, a quiet rhythm forming between wood, bark, and human effort. The forest watches silently, a still companion to the labor. Meanwhile, inside the cabin, preparations for fire begin. Stones are gathered from a nearby creek, large ones for the base, smaller ones for the firebox. Pine needles mixed with mud form a crude mortar. Each stone is positioned carefully, angled slightly, to reflect warmth into the cabin. The mountain man moves methodically, aware that a misaligned stone could reduce heat or compromise safety. A rough door is fashioned from split logs, an antler latch improvised. It is simple, sturdy, functional. The door represents not just entry and exit, but security, a psychological boundary against the cold, the wind, and the wilderness. By mid-afternoon, the bark is in place, overlapping, secure. The first layer of protection against winter storms. The cabin begins to feel complete, a promise, a refuge. The mountain man steps back, cold creeping into bones, yet warmth grows in the quiet satisfaction of progress. Tension turns to fire. Flint strikes steel, sparks ignite tinder, small flames flicker, catching quickly as dry bark and small kindling are added. Soon, a steady fire burns within the cabin. Smoke curls upward, escaping through gaps in the roof. The first warmth, the first comfort. The mountain man breathes slowly, feeling the change in air, in light, the difference between exposure and protection. Outside, snow begins to drift, covering the surrounding trees, muffling the forest in silence. The cabin stands resilient, a small island of warmth, shelter, and survival. Inside, the mountain man tends the fire, carefully positioning stones, adjusting kindling, feeling the life-giving heat spread. Each movement deliberate, every breath measured, the rhythm of endurance calming, centering, preparing for the long night ahead. As evening descends, the mountain man sits quietly, the firelight reflecting softly on walls, the forest still and silent beyond. The first shelter is complete enough: walls, roof, and hearth, a fragile yet tangible triumph over isolation, cold, and wilderness. And in that quiet moment, as the snow continues to fall, the mountain man feels a profound calm, a meditative satisfaction, knowing that skill, patience, and careful labor have transformed raw forest into sanctuary, slowly, deliberately, carefully, enduringly. With the cabin now offering shelter from the cold and snow, the mountain man turns his attention to another vital task: nourishment, sustenance, survival itself. The forest stretches quietly around him, the wind whispering through pine needles, the crunch of snow underfoot marking his careful steps. The rifle is checked, powder flint inspected, every component clean and reliable. There is no margin for error. Each shot must count, for food is scarce, and the cold will sap strength quickly. A missed opportunity can have consequences. Patience and precision are essential. Tracks in the snow draw his eye. The subtle indentation of a snowshoe hair, careful observation reveals its pattern, direction, speed. The mountain man moves slowly, following the trail, each step deliberate, minimizing sound, maximizing awareness. The forest seems alive. Every rustle, every snap of a twig, every distant bird call is observed, interpreted, understood. A clean shot is taken, quiet, controlled. The hair falls, and with it, the promise of sustenance. The mountain man approaches calmly, retrieves the prize, and begins the work of preparation. Skinning, cleaning, and careful handling, each motion precise. Conserving energy, preserving warmth, respecting the life taken. Back at the cabin, the fire burns steadily, heat radiating across the floorboards. The hare is roasted over the flames, small flames licking tender meat, the aroma rising, filling the cabin with comfort, survival, and skill intertwine in every action. This is not haste, it is careful orchestration, the rhythm of life, and the quiet satisfaction of necessity met with preparation. The mountain man divides portions, rations set aside, some dried and preserved for later. Every piece accounted for, energy conserved for labor, for endurance, for the coming days of work and isolation. The forest beyond remains silent, indifferent, yet the cabin holds warmth, light, life. In the quiet moments, he reflects on the solitude, on the fragility of life in these vast woods, yet also on skill, on patience, on careful observation. Each meal secured, each task completed, each moment approached deliberately, is a triumph, a quiet assertion over wilderness and isolation. Snow continues to drift outside, settling on roof and trees. The warmth inside contrasts sharply, creating a sanctuary. The mountain man tends the fire, rearranging logs, adding kindling, feeling heat on his hands, in his chest, energy returning, calm spreading, preparation and survival merging into quiet rhythm. As evening falls, he sets aside utensils, small tools, resting briefly. The cabin now provides more than shelter. It provides hope, security, a space for life to continue despite the indifferent wilderness. Each bite of meat, each spark from the fire, a reassurance, a meditation, a bridge between isolation and sustenance. And as the snow muffles the forest in silence, the mountain man feels a subtle calm, a quiet confidence. For skill, patience, and careful observation have transformed hunting, fire, and food into the quiet, enduring rhythm of survival, slowly, deliberately meditated. With the cabin walls strong, the roof secure, and warmth from the fire spreading softly across the floor, the mountain man turns inward, to the small sanctuary he has created. The forest outside is quiet, snow drifting gently, yet inside, a rhythm of preparation begins, deliberate, methodical, calming. The first task is the floor, rough joists notched into the sill logs, boards hand-split from logs, each one planed roughly with the axe. uneven yet functional, raising him above the cold earth, insulating him from snow, damp, and frost. Each plank is placed carefully, adjusting for balance, stability, and comfort. The act is slow, almost meditative, connecting hand, wood, and purpose. Next, the sleeping platform, a raised bed, a simple structure, yet essential, providing warmth, storage space beneath, and a place for rest that restores strength. Each log and plank position deliberately joints tested, stability ensured, comfort and survival intertwined, a small triumph of skill over the wilderness. Furniture is crafted, a crude table, a stool, functional and practical. Nothing wasted. Every action considers efficiency, warmth, and durability. The mountain man arranges tools, supplies, and utensils, each in its place, hanging pegs and shelves carved into logs. A personal system of order in a vast, indifferent wilderness. Walls are sealed, mud, moss, and pine needles pressed carefully into gaps. A barrier against drafts and snow. Each hand movement slow and deliberate, shaping the cabin into a home, a sanctuary. A personal calendar and map are sketched, marking days, nearby landmarks, and hunting routes. A psychological anchor, a quiet reminder of purpose and time passing. Emergency caches are hidden, supplies stored away from the cabin, invisible safety nets, small but vital. For survival is not only warmth and food, but foresight, preparation, and ingenuity. The mountain man pauses frequently, breathing slowly, observing his work, each action deliberate, each motion conserving energy and preserving safety. Outside, the snow continues, drifting, falling, settling. Yet inside, life persists, quiet, steady, enduring. The fire crackles softly, the smell of pine and cooking meat lingers. The mountain man organizes his day, checking traps, gathering firewood, preparing for the stormy weeks ahead. Every routine deliberate, a rhythm of endurance and mindfulness. As night falls, the cabin feels complete, not in luxury, but in safety, warmth, and order. Each corner, each plank, each log, each tool has been placed with purpose. The cabin is no longer just shelter, it is home, a fortress against the wilderness, a testament to skill, patience, and deliberate labor. And in that quiet evening, as the wind whispers through the pines, as snow muffles the forest, the mountain man feels a subtle, meditative calm. A harmony between human skill and nature's indifference. Between labor, survival, and quiet reflection. The cabin stands resilient, a home for life, slowly, deliberately, thoughtfully, enduringly. The cabin now stands sturdy and quiet, a small refuge against the endless forest. Yet the mountain man knows that survival is not just about walls and roof. It is about comfort, about efficiency, about shaping the space into a sanctuary where body and mind can endure. He moves slowly, deliberately, assessing each corner, each surface. The floorboards are examined for gaps, small cracks filled with moss or pine needles. Every detail considered, for warmth, for safety, for quiet peace. Each movement measured, conserving energy, reinforcing focus, reinforcing calm. A raised shelf is crafted along one wall, a place for tools, flint, and spare powder. Each item has its place, the arrangement deliberate, practical, a system born of necessity. The mountain man steps back, observing the symmetry and order, a quiet satisfaction blooming, the forest outside indifferent. Yet he feels in harmony. A small stool and table are positioned, functional, simple, the tools of daily life placed within easy reach. Even the antler latch on the door is tested, secure, quiet, a reassurance against the wind and the unknown beyond the cabin walls. Every detail is a meditation, every placement an assertion of order in the vast, indifferent wilderness. He turns to personal touches, sketches on the wall, maps of nearby streams and landmarks, dates and notes, a quiet journal of life in isolation. These small marks bring comfort, a psychological anchor, a way to measure time, progress, and survival. The act itself is calming, deliberate, restorative. Emergency supplies are organized, caches hidden carefully, rations, spare tools, fire-starting materials. A quiet insurance against misfortune, for in the wilderness, even the smallest oversight can have consequences. The mountain man moves with awareness, each motion reflecting patience, foresight, and skill. Outside, snow begins to settle, branches bending under its weight. The wind sighs through the trees. The cabin inside glows with firelight, the warmth spreading across the floorboards, touching every corner. The mountain man feels the simple comfort of safety, the quiet pride in labor well executed, the meditative rhythm of survival achieved through care, patience, and skill. He sits quietly by the fire, roasting the day's small catch, the aroma filling the cabin. The forest is distant now, muffled under snow. The cabin a sanctuary, a place of quiet reflection, a space where body and mind can rest, where survival becomes a rhythm, deliberate, meditative, enduring. And as night descends, the fire crackling softly, the wind whispering outside, he closes his eyes for a moment, feeling the warmth, the solidity of the cabin, the comfort of preparation. Each detail, each log, each notch, each small act, a bridge between isolation and endurance, between the harsh wilderness and the quiet safety of home, slowly, deliberately, meditated. The first serious storm of the season approaches quietly, the wind rising among the pines, snowflakes beginning to drift from the darkened sky. The mountain man pauses outside, feeling the change in air, the bite of cold sharpening his awareness. Every moment matters, every movement deliberate. Inside the cabin, the fire burns steadily, warmth spreading across the floorboards, the smell of pine smoke filling the small space. The mountain man checks logs, walls, and roof, each joint, each notch, ensuring that the structure will hold against the coming storm. The forest outside grows restless, branches bending, snow drifting heavier, yet inside, calm endurance prevails. The first flakes fall thickly, settling on roof and ground. The wind whistles softly through the trees, a lullaby and a warning. The mountain man watches the pattern, noting how snow accumulates, adjusting small gaps where cold might creep in. The bark roofing resists the wetness, channeling water away, an elegant simplicity born of skill and observation. He steps outside briefly, feeling the storm's strength, testing the cabin's resilience. The logs creak gently, but hold firm. The ridge beam bears the weight, rafters maintain angle. The small door latch resists the wind. All is stable. The mountain man feels a quiet satisfaction, his labor now proving its worth. Back inside, he tends the fire, arranging stones around the hearth, ensuring maximum reflection of heat. The snowstorm rages softly beyond, muffled under the trees, muffled yet relentless. Yet the cabin remains a sanctuary, a space of warmth, light, and protection. The rhythm of tending the fire, feeding the flames, adjusting logs, becomes a meditation, a quiet dialogue between man, wood, and wilderness. He prepares the evening meal, small portions of preserved meat, careful rationing. The stove crackles, warmth spreading, nourishment sustaining body and mind. Outside, the snow continues, deeper now, drifting against walls, piling on roof, each flake a reminder of nature's indifference. Each log, each notch, each careful cut, a testament to human skill, to endurance, to survival. The storm tests not only the cabin, but the mountain man's focus, his patience, his ability to maintain calm in isolation. He moves slowly, deliberately, checking supplies, fire, and structural integrity. Every action measured, conserving energy, reinforcing a meditative rhythm. Every motion a bridge between vulnerability and security. As night descends fully, the storm enveloping the forest, the cabin glows softly with firelight. The mountain man sits quietly, feeling warmth on his hands, heat on his chest, the soft crackle of the hearth. The storm rages outside, relentless yet contained. Inside, calm, comfort, safety. A space created by patience, skill, and deliberate labor, a sanctuary. And as he leans back, listening to wind and snow, feeling the stability of structure, the glow of fire, the quiet rhythm of survival, he knows that the cabin is no longer just shelter. It is a symbol of endurance, of preparation, of human ingenuity. Slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly, with the storm passing and the cabin holding firm, the mountain man begins to settle into a rhythm, the quiet routines that mark the passage of days in the wilderness. Each task deliberate, measured, a meditation in motion. The forest remains silent, the snow drifting softly beyond the cabin walls. Morning light filters through gaps in the roof, faint and cold. The first act of the day is tending the fire, rekindling warmth from embers, arranging stones around the hearth, ensuring maximum reflection of heat. Each motion careful, conserving energy, respecting the fragility of comfort in this remote landscape. Breakfast is prepared slowly, jerky or preserved meat, small portions, a measured intake of energy. The mountain man eats quietly, listening to the soft creak of logs as they cool, the distant whistle of wind through trees. Each bite is nourishment, both physical and mental, a quiet assertion of survival. Traps are checked next, set along paths through snow-covered underbrush, small snares and deadfalls, each inspection deliberate, noting tracks, signs of wildlife, success or failure noted. Food secured is the reward of observation, patience, and understanding the forest. Each caught rabbit or hare a quiet triumph, each missed opportunity a lesson in attentiveness. The cabin is maintained gaps filled, bark adjusted, moss pressed into cracks. Each action deliberate, reinforcing warmth, stability, endurance. The mountain man moves with a calm rhythm, a meditative repetition that carries both physical and mental reassurance. Each plank, each notch, each careful adjustment is a small act of mastery over the indifferent wilderness. Midday comes slowly, the sun low in the sky. The mountain man sharpens his tools, axe and knife, prepares for additional work. Each stroke deliberate, controlled, conserving energy. Each sharpened edge a lifeline, a tool that may mean warmth, survival, or even life. Evening brings the preparation of food once again. Fire stoked, meat roasted over flames, warmth spreading. The cabin glows softly, a space of safety and comfort. The snow continues to settle outside, muffling the forest, the quiet rhythm of survival unfolding within. As night falls, the mountain man takes stock, supplies organized, tools in place, the fire tended, a small journal or sketch marking days, observations and routes, a quiet meditation on time, on routine, on the endurance of human skill and persistence. Each day a bridge between vulnerability and calm, between isolation and mastery. And as he settles beside the hearth, the warmth creeping through the cabin, the snow drifting silently outside, he allows himself a moment of reflection, a deep exhale, a sense of calm. Survival is no longer frantic, it has become a rhythm, deliberate, methodical, meditative, enduring. Here, in the quiet sanctuary of logs, fire, and snow, the mountain man has carved not just shelter, but a space of safety, warmth, and continuity, a life carefully measured, sustained, and quietly celebrated, slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly. Weeks pass, and the small cabin begins to feel less like a shelter and more like a home. Each plank, each log, each notch carries the quiet story of labor, patience, and survival. The forest outside remains indifferent, yet inside, warmth, light, and life take root. The mountain man moves with familiarity through the cabin, each step precise, each motion practiced, tending the fire, adjusting the sleeping platform, checking food supplies. Everything has its place, a rhythm of order and care. Each task deliberate, slow, meditative, conserving energy while preserving comfort. Walls are adorned with small personal marks, not just maps or calendars, but the quiet sketches of observation, tracks of wildlife, sketches of nearby streams, reminders of the world beyond. Each mark a bridge between the wilderness outside and the sanctuary within, a mental anchor in isolation. Winter winds blow hard beyond the walls, the snow piling against roof and logs, yet inside, the cabin is steady, warm, secure. The mountain man tends his fire with quiet reverence, arranging logs, tending flames, the heat reaching every corner, a tangible reward of skill and foresight. Meals are prepared slowly, thoughtfully, small portions of preserved meat, roasted over the fire, rations carefully measured. Each act of nourishment is deliberate, a meditation on survival, patience, observation, understanding of the forest and its patterns. Evenings are quiet, the firelight casting soft shadows on logs and walls. The mountain man pauses, listening to the forest, hearing the wind whisper through pines, feeling the comfort of security, the satisfaction of preparation, the subtle calm of routine. Each breath slow, measured, reflective, a meditation on existence in this remote place. Storage and organization evolve. Emergency caches reviewed, supplies rotated, tools and utensils placed efficiently, every object in its space. Every act reinforces the quiet control of life, the assertion of human ingenuity and endurance over indifferent wilderness. The cabin itself has transformed, no longer merely logs and bark, but a space of sanctuary, warmth, and psychological comfort. A place where survival is not only possible, but predictable, a place where life can persist, even thrive, if care, skill, and patience are maintained. As night deepens, the fire crackling softly, the mountain man rests on the raised platform, reflecting on the quiet victories of the day. The cold outside now a distant concern, comfort inside assured. Each plank, each log, each small adjustment reinforcing safety, endurance, and calm. And as he drifts into quiet reflection, feeling warmth in chest and hands, listening to snow settling outside, he knows that the cabin is more than a building, it is a home, a meditation on survival, on skill, on persistence, slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly. The first full weeks in the cabin have passed, and the mountain man now turns his focus outward, to preparation for the harsh, unrelenting winter. Supplies must be managed carefully, every ration counted, every resource considered, every task deliberate, a meditation in itself. The snow lies deep beyond the cabin, covering every familiar track, transforming the forest into a silent, frozen world. The mountain man studies it, noting patterns of animal movement, subtle tracks left in the powder, signs of food, of opportunity. Each observation informs strategy, patience and awareness guiding each step. Inside, the fire burns steadily, warmth spreading slowly through the cabin. Tools are inspected, the rifle cleaned and loaded, knives sharpened, traps repaired. Each motion methodical, conserving energy, ensuring that when the time comes to move into the forest, preparation is complete. Food is rationed carefully, small portions set aside for the immediate day, others preserved in caches, snow-covered areas hidden, a quiet insurance against scarcity. The mountain man notes each item, jerky, dried berries, small game. Each small store a lifeline, a symbol of foresight and survival. Hunting strategy is considered with precision, routes planned along ridges, creek beds, and open meadows. Traps positioned where tracks converge, snares placed where snow hides their subtle presence. Timing and observation are crucial, patience required. One misstep can mean a day without sustenance, or worse, the subtle balance of life and survival maintained through quiet attention. Outside, the cold bites, yet the mountain man moves with care, snowshoes strapped, rifle in hand, each step deliberate, every action mindful. The forest is quiet, muffled by snow, movement cautious. Every snap of a twig, every rustle of fur is noted, interpreted, a lesson in subtle observation. Upon return, the cabin welcomes him, warmth immediately felt on hands and chest. A ritual of tending fire, removing snow, and arranging supplies follows. This rhythm becomes a meditation, a bridge between the demands of the wilderness and the calm of the cabin. Each movement deliberate, conserving energy, preserving safety, reinforcing the quiet sense of control over environment and circumstance. Evening falls, the fire crackling softly. The mountain man prepares a small meal, rations combined with freshly caught game, nourishment not just for body, but for focus, energy, and endurance. Each bite savored, each motion considered, a meditation in survival. And as the night deepens, snow piling silently outside, he takes stock of supplies, the placement of traps, the condition of tools. The cabin stands as a sanctuary, warmth and light radiating against the cold and dark outside. The rhythm of survival now steady, deliberate, meditative, enduring. In these quiet moments, the mountain man feels a subtle calm, a sense of mastery over circumstances, a deep understanding of the delicate balance between preparation and endurance. Each ration, each trap, each careful observation, a testament to human skill and patience, slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly. As the winter deepens, the nights stretch long and silent. The mountain man sits beside the hearth, the cabin aglow with the soft warmth of firelight. Outside, the snow drifts steadily, muffling the forest in quiet, frozen stillness. Inside, the rhythm of tending the fire becomes both ritual and meditation. Each log placed carefully, chosen for burn rate and heat output. Stones adjusted to reflect warmth efficiently across the cabin floor. The mountain man moves deliberately, aware that a fire is more than warmth. It is comfort, it is security, it is life sustained through long, dark hours. The hours of night are filled with quiet tasks, repairing tools, sharpening knives, mending clothing, each movement slow, precise, conserving energy, preserving focus. The repetitive rhythm of maintenance becomes meditative, a bridge between human ingenuity and the indifferent wilderness. Morale is carefully nurtured. Even small routines, arranging supplies, reviewing the day's observations, sketching maps on the cabin wall, provide a sense of continuity and stability. Isolation can erode the mind, yet deliberate ritual combats despair. Each careful act is a step towards psychological endurance. The fire crackles softly, warmth radiating, the glow reflecting off the logs and walls. Shadows dance gently. The mountain man pauses, listening to the wind sigh through the pines, feeling the balance between vulnerability and security, between exposure to the wilderness and sanctuary within the cabin. Each breath slow, deliberate, meditative, grounding in the quiet rhythm of survival. Meals are simple, prepared with care, jerky, dried meat, or small game. Portions measured, rations preserved. Energy managed for tasks yet to come. Each bite a quiet reminder of skill, observation, and preparation. The cabin becomes a center of both sustenance and reflection, a hearth of endurance, a sanctuary of calm. Night deepens, shadows lengthen. Snow continues to fall outside, piling against walls, settling on the roof. The mountain man tends the fire, shifting logs, adjusting stones, the flicker of flames casting comfort through every corner. The quiet, repetitive labor both soothes and reinforces survival, reinforcing focus, patience, and a calm mind. Journaling begins, marking days, routes, and wildlife patterns. Observations recorded in careful strokes, a personal dialogue with time and space. This act, deliberate and quiet, becomes meditation, a reassurance of control, a way to map the passage of isolation into something meaningful and measured. And as the long winter night continues, the cabin stands firm, the fire crackling, warmth radiating, the mountain man sitting quietly, tending, observing. The rhythm of survival becomes internalized, steady, deliberate, meditative, enduring. Slowly, the wilderness outside feels less threatening. The cabin transforms from shelter to sanctuary, a home of patience, skill, and quiet endurance. The early light of dawn filters softly through the cabin walls. Snow blankets the forest in a quiet hush. The mountain man rises slowly, tending to the embers of the fire, feeling warmth return to his fingers. Each movement deliberate, conserving energy, preserving strength. Each act a meditation in preparation. Food remains the lifeblood of survival. The mountain man steps into the frozen world, snow crunching gently beneath his snowshoes. The rifle is ready. Traps are checked, every tool inspected. Each step is careful, measured, every motion attuned to the forest's rhythm. Tracks in the snow tell stories, subtle impressions of rabbits, deer, and other forest creatures. He studies the patterns, the direction, depth, spacing. Observing quietly, interpreting carefully. Patience guides him. No movement wasted, each breath controlled, the cold sharp against his skin. A snowshoe hare is spotted, its small tracks weaving among saplings. The mountain man moves deliberately, calculating the path, the angle, the timing. A clean, practiced shot, precise. The hare falls, providing sustenance, nourishment earned through observation, patience, and skill. Returning to the cabin, the mountain man prepares the catch, carefully skinned, cleaned, and readied for cooking. The fire warms the small space. Flames crackle gently, warmth spreading through floorboards and logs. Each motion deliberate, conserving energy, a quiet meditation on survival. Traps are reset, strategically positioned along animal paths, each adjustment informed by careful observation. The mountain man records patterns on his map, marking locations, successful snares, and promising routes. The act of mapping and planning becomes meditative, reinforcing focus, ensuring resources are sustained. Inside the cabin, food is rationed with care. Portions set aside for the day, others preserved in hidden caches. The mountain man understands the fragile balance of supply and demand. Winter is long, every resource counted, every decision deliberate. Each small store a testament to foresight, patience, and endurance. The cabin provides comfort, but also a constant reminder: the wilderness beyond is indifferent. Survival requires attention, skill, calm observation. Each day is a careful negotiation with nature. Each night a reflection on lessons learned. Each meal a quiet reward. Evening descends, the fire crackling softly, warmth and light a sanctuary against the cold, dark beyond. The mountain man tends embers, prepares simple meals, reviews traps and supplies, notes wildlife patterns. The rhythm of these routines offers both security and meditation, reinforcing mental and physical endurance. As snow drifts silently outside, the mountain man reflects on his place in the forest, on the fragile, deliberate balance between survival and comfort, between the demands of the wilderness and the security of his cabin. Each act of hunting, mapping, and maintaining the cabin is a meditation, deliberate, methodical, enduring. Slowly, the forest's harshness feels less threatening. The cabin's walls, warmth, and routine create a sanctuary, a rhythm of life carved carefully from snow, wood, and skill. The forest outside is silent, heavy with snow, hours stretch endlessly, marked only by the slow passage of daylight. The mountain man sits beside the fire, hands warmed by flickering flames, breathing slowly, deliberately, cultivating a quiet, meditative presence in a world that offers no company. Isolation weighs differently each day, sometimes as a friend, sometimes as a shadow. The mountain man has learned to cope, to fill the long hours with purpose, tending the fire, repairing tools, checking traps, each motion deliberate, rhythmic, a meditation against the quiet of solitude. He carves small pieces of wood, shaping tools, small charms, or markers for traps. Each movement precise, each cut a focus of mind and hand. The tactile rhythm is calming, the act of creation giving a quiet sense of achievement, a bridge between vulnerability and endurance. Journaling has become a daily ritual, notes, sketches, maps, observations of wildlife, dates, small reflections on survival. Recording thoughts, marking patterns, provide structure to days that might otherwise dissolve into isolation. The act itself is meditative, a lifeline for the mind, a quiet anchor for sanity. Occasionally, he speaks softly to himself, naming animals, recounting tasks, rehearsing observations, words offered into the cabin's air, a practice as old as solitary survival itself. A conversation with the self, a reinforcement of focus and presence. Each sound deliberate, mindful, sustaining psychological resilience. Evening brings its own rhythm, tending the fire, preparing meals, checking supplies, reviewing traps and caches. Each task slow, precise, conserving energy, maintaining attention. The repetition itself is soothing, the predictability of routine a balm against the unpredictable wilderness. The snow outside piles higher, wind whistling through pines. Yet inside, warmth radiates from the fire, light spreads across logs and walls. The mountain man rests his body while keeping his mind engaged, balancing alertness with moments of reflection, a delicate harmony, a meditation on endurance. He observes the small victories, a trap successfully sprung, a well-maintained tool, food rationed effectively. Each success reinforces confidence. Each small achievement a quiet assertion of control, a demonstration that the forest's indifference can be met with skill, patience, and calm. As night deepens, the fire crackling softly, shadows dancing across the cabin walls, the mountain man breathes deeply, feeling warmth in chest and hands, reflecting on the quiet mastery of days, the meditative rhythm of survival. Each movement, each observation, each act of preparation is deliberate, mindful, enduring, slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly. The cabin, now fully a sanctuary, stands as a testament not only to skill and labor, but to resilience, the quiet endurance of the human mind in isolation. In this small space of logs, fire, and snow, survival becomes rhythm, reflection, meditation, and home. The cold deepens each day shorter, each night longer. Snowdrifts pile high outside the cabin, the forest muffled in white silence. The mountain man senses the coming worst of winter, a time when every precaution, every preparation will determine survival. Morning begins with the fire, tending embers left from the night. Stones shifted to reflect heat more efficiently. Logs arranged for prolonged warmth. Each movement deliberate, conserving energy, nurturing the sanctuary that will sustain body and mind. Supplies are reviewed, rations carefully counted, caches inspected. Additional food hidden under snow-covered boughs, safety measures taken. Each item accounted for, each portion measured, awareness sharp, the margin for error small. Yet preparation turns anxiety into calm purpose. The mountain man ventures briefly outside, snow crunching softly under snowshoes. Checking traps, observing animal tracks, noting snow accumulation patterns. The forest is quiet, yet alive. Subtle sounds hint at movement beneath the white cover. Patience guides every motion, awareness sharp, survival a careful negotiation with the cold. Back in the cabin, insulation is enhanced. Gaps between logs filled with moss, mud, and pine needles. Extra layers of bark placed along the roof. Drafts minimized. Heating. Each detail deliberate, meditative. Each adjustment a small assertion of control against an indifferent wilderness. Tools are checked and repaired, knives sharpened, axe maintained, flint and steel inspected. Each action deliberate, conserving effort, ensuring readiness for sudden necessity. Firewood split and stacked carefully, access optimized for ease during storm-bound days. Meals are simple, small portions of preserved meat, combined with stored roots or dried berries. Each act of nourishment deliberate, each bite a quiet meditation on endurance, each meal a celebration of preparation, skill, and patience. Evening approaches, the wind rising outside, snow piling higher. The fire glows brightly. The cabin holds warmth. The mountain man moves slowly, tending fire, arranging logs, checking traps. The repetition forms a rhythm, a meditation, a bridge between cold and comfort, danger and sanctuary. Night descends fully. Snow accumulates against the walls. Inside, calm and warmth persist. He sits by the hearth, breathing slowly, feeling the heat, observing the shadows cast by flames. Each moment a quiet lesson in patience, resilience, and observation. The cabin is not just shelter. It is a testament to skill, foresight, and quiet endurance. As the night deepens, the mountain man reflects, the snow outside relentless, the fire steady. Every preparation, every careful act, ensures that survival is possible, that the deepest cold can be met with patience, with skill, with calm, slowly, deliberate, meditatively, enduringly. The cabin becomes more than logs and bark. It becomes sanctuary, a home, a rhythm of survival, a quiet meditation against the endless wilderness. Each notch, each log, each careful action a proof of human endurance and quiet mastery over the cold. A gray light fills the cabin as dawn creeps across the snow-laden forest. The wind rises, carrying fine icy particles that hiss softly against the walls. Today, the first real snowstorm of the deep winter begins, a test of preparation, skill, and endurance. The mountain man moves slowly, deliberately, tending the fire, stoking embers, arranging stones for optimal warmth. Each action measured, conserving energy, aware that the hours ahead will demand focus and calm. The cabin is a sanctuary, yet its strength is about to be challenged. Snow begins to fall heavily, flakes thick and persistent, drifting against the walls, piling on the roof. The mountain man observes carefully, noting weight on the ridge beam, checking for potential weak points, every movement deliberate. The forest outside indifferent, the cabin must hold. Outside, visibility is low, the forest disappearing into white. He steps briefly, snowshoes crunching underfoot, inspecting traps and caches, making minor adjustments, ensuring that essential supplies remain accessible. The cold bites sharply, wind pushing snow against his face, yet he moves with purpose, rhythm, and quiet patience. Inside, the fire crackles, logs arranged carefully, the warmth spreading through the floorboards. The mountain man tends every ember, each stone positioned to reflect maximum heat. Every detail deliberate, conserving energy, maximizing comfort, reinforcing the sanctuary within. The storm rages, trees bending, snow piling higher. The cabin creaks gently, a reminder that the structure is alive, responding to pressure. The mountain man listens, observes, reassures himself. Every notch, every joint, every plank tested under nature's insistence, yet holding firm, testament to labor, foresight, and skill. Meals are prepared slowly, small portions of preserved meat or freshly caught hare, each bite deliberate, conscious, nourishment for both body and focus. The storm continues outside, muffled sounds of wind and snow providing a rhythm to the long hours, a meditation in white and cold. Evening arrives, fire glowing warmly, shadows dancing across logs. The mountain man pauses, breathing slowly, observing the snow's relentless accumulation, reflecting on his place in the wilderness, understanding that survival is not only physical, it is mental, deliberate attention, calm observation, patient endurance. As night deepens, the storm peaks, snow piling higher, gusts rattling the cabin. Inside, warmth, light, and calm persist. The mountain man tends the fire, checks supplies, reviews traps. Each repetitive motion a meditation, each deliberate act a quiet assertion of resilience. The cabin, tested by wind and snow, stands firm, logs and notches holding warmth radiating. The mountain man leans back, feeling the balance between vulnerability and safety, between the indifference of the forest and the skillful sanctuary he has crafted, slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly. The first snowstorm becomes a silent lesson in preparation, endurance, and observation. The cabin is more than shelter. It is home, a rhythm of survival, a testament to patience, skill, and quiet resilience. The world outside is cloaked in white, snowdrifts rising along the forest floor. The wind carries soft whispers through the bare trees. The mountain man rises slowly, careful to warm fingers and toes by the fire. Each movement deliberate, conserving energy, mindful of the day ahead. Hunting becomes the rhythm of survival, every step measured. Snow crunches beneath snowshoes. The rifle is ready, traps carefully inspected. each motion purposeful, every observation noted. Footprints in the snow, subtle signs of movement, the distant flicker of fur. Each detail informs strategy, patience guides every decision. The mountain man moves along familiar paths, creek beds and ridge lines, scanning for tracks. A rabbit here, a deer there. Observing quietly, calculating angles, predicting movement. The cold bites sharply, yet careful focus transforms discomfort into rhythm, into meditation, into mastery of environment. A snowshoe hare is caught in a snare, clean, precise, a reward of observation, patience, and skill. The mountain man moves deliberately, handling the small animal with care. Every act considered, from hunt to preparation, each step deliberate, conserving energy while preserving life and sustenance. Back at the cabin, preparations for storage begin. Food is cleaned, processed, and divided. Portions for immediate use, others preserved in hidden snow-covered caches. Safety and foresight govern each action. Every small choice a quiet act of survival, a meditation on balance, between scarcity and abundance, between vigilance and calm. The fire crackles softly, warmth spreading across the logs. Each ember tended, stones adjusted to reflect heat efficiently. The mountain man works slowly, rhythmically, inspecting supplies, sharpening knives, maintaining tools. The repetition itself is meditative, reinforcing both focus and endurance. Evening arrives, bringing quiet reflection. The snow continues to fall outside, muffling the forest. Inside, the cabin glows with firelight. The mountain man reviews traps, ensures all caches are secure. Each small action deliberate, measured, reinforcing safety, sustenance, and rhythm. Meals are prepared carefully. Jerky, dried meat, and fresh game. Each bite savored, nourishment not only for the body but for endurance. The mountain man moves calmly, performing tasks with deliberate care, ensuring readiness for days ahead. Survival becomes rhythm, repetition becomes meditation, patience becomes strength. Night deepens. The storm continues, snow piling silently against logs. Yet inside, the cabin remains sanctuary. The mountain man sits by the fire, reflecting on the day, the hunt, the food, the skill and observation that allow life to persist. Each task, each movement, each choice is deliberate, slow, meditative, enduring. Through snow and cold, the mountain man has learned to balance survival with rhythm, skill with reflection, observation with endurance. Each successful hunt, each secure cache, a small victory, reinforcing calm, focus, and resilience. The cabin is home. The fire is life. The rhythm of survival continues, slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly. The days are short, the nights long and cold. Outside, snow drifts high, wind whistles through pines, and the forest lies in frozen silence. Inside, the cabin glows softly with the steady warmth of fire. The mountain man moves slowly, deliberately, tending embers, adjusting stones, preserving heat. Each act a meditation, a rhythm of survival. The harshest weeks of winter demand endurance. Every step outside requires careful preparation. Snowshoes strapped, rifle in hand, traps inspected. Each motion deliberate, conserving energy, focused on observation. Each breath slow, mindful, attuned to the rhythm of the forest. Inside, supplies are carefully monitored, food rationed meticulously. Every portion calculated, every cache checked. Preservation is not merely practical, it is survival, a quiet meditation on foresight and balance. The mountain man knows that the forest outside is indifferent, yet preparation transforms fear into calm. The snowstorm rages, wind pressing against logs, the cabin groaning softly under the weight. The mountain man listens, observing every sound, adjusting logs, ensuring stability, reinforcing the sanctuary he has built. Each task measured, each movement deliberate, conserving strength for hours of observation and vigilance. Outside, the forest remains alive. Footprints of deer, rabbit, and small animals faint against the white blanket. Traps are checked, repositioned, and reset. Observation guides every decision. Every subtle detail, every quiet movement is recorded mentally, a meditation in patience, skill, and attention. Meals are simple, deliberate, preserved meat combined with small game. Each bite a meditation on endurance, on balance. The mountain man moves with quiet rhythm, tending fire, maintaining tools, sharpening knives. Each repetitive motion reinforces focus, calm, and resilience. Survival becomes a quiet, deliberate practice. Evening arrives, snow piling higher, darkness falling early. The cabin glows with firelight. Shadows stretch across the logs. The mountain man pauses, breathing slowly, observing the rhythm of storm and cabin. Reflecting on his place in the wilderness, the balance between vulnerability and security, between the indifference of nature and the careful preparation within. Journaling becomes more important, noting snow accumulation, trap success, animal tracks, and weather patterns. Each entry deliberate, each reflection a meditation, maintaining focus, mental resilience, and clarity of observation. As night deepens, the fire crackles softly, warmth radiating. The mountain man leans back, mindful of the day's work, the cabin's security, and the life sustained within these walls. Each careful act, tending fire, organizing food, monitoring traps, reinforces endurance, skill, and psychological resilience, slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly. The cabin stands firm, a sanctuary against wind, snow, and cold. The mountain man endures, not only surviving, but sustaining rhythm, focus, and calm. In the quiet, frozen wilderness, each action, each choice, each observation is a meditation, a testament to patient preparation and careful endurance. The cold persists, each breath outside forming a mist. Each movement measured, each step deliberate. Inside the cabin, the mountain man tends the fire, logs crackling softly, warmth radiating across stone and wood. This sanctuary is not merely shelter. It is a center of life, a refuge where focus, calm, and endurance are nurtured. Maintaining health becomes a quiet, daily discipline. Simple hygiene, washing hands in melting snow, careful attention to wounds, every cut, every blister treated promptly. Awareness that even minor injuries, neglected, can become serious. The mountain man moves slowly, each action intentional, conserving energy while preserving vitality. Nourishment is deliberate, rations carefully measured, preserved meat, small game, and any dried roots or berries. Each meal planned to sustain energy for the day. Each bite deliberate, a meditation on survival. The body is fuel, the mind alert. Both are sustained with quiet care. Exercise is subtle but consistent. Moving logs, splitting firewood, checking traps, carrying small loads of snow to melt for water. Every motion deliberate, muscles maintained, stamina preserved, energy balanced between labor and conservation. This rhythm becomes meditation, body and mind harmonized. Observation remains crucial. Every movement of the forest noted, animal tracks, wind patterns, snowfall. Each detail informs future hunting, travel, and preparation. Tension sharp, focus deliberate. The mountain man's mind becomes a finely tuned instrument, calibrated to both survival and endurance. The cabin itself aids health. Cleanliness maintained, floors swept of snow and debris. Fire managed to prevent smoke inhalation. Ventilation adjusted carefully. Small comforts, arranged bedding, sleeping platforms, and fire warmth enhance physical and mental well-being. Every detail considered, each act deliberate, reinforcing resilience. Evening arrives, a calm ritual, tending the fire, preparing meals, checking traps, sharpening tools. Each movement slow, deliberate. The repetition becomes meditation, a rhythm that nourishes mind, body, and spirit. Endurance is cultivated not through haste, but through careful, mindful practice. Journaling continues, documenting health, energy levels, and daily activities. This quiet reflection supports both planning and mental resilience. The act of writing is deliberate, meditative, a bridge between isolation and purpose. Night deepens, the storm outside relentless. Yet inside, the cabin glows with warmth. The mountain man leans back, breathing slowly, feeling the rhythm of his body, the steady heat of the fire, the balance between survival, preparation, and calm. Each day preserved health, each careful act reinforced strength. Slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly. The cabin, now fully a sanctuary, supports body, mind, and spirit, a testament to preparation, discipline, and quiet observation. In this frozen wilderness, survival is more than labor. It is rhythm, it is meditation. It is the patient cultivation of health, energy, and endurance. The stormed forest outside remains silent, white and heavy under the weight of snow. Inside the cabin, the fire glows softly, warmth radiating across logs and stone. The mountain man sits quietly, reviewing maps and notes. Reflecting on the weeks of winter, each day survived, each task completed, each observation recorded, a guide for the seasons ahead. Spring is distant, but preparation begins now. Planning routes for trapping expansion, anticipating thawing creeks and emerging wildlife. The mountain man considers snowmelt, animal patterns, and accessible terrain. Every thought deliberate, each plan a meditation in foresight and patience. Traps are inspected again, repaired where necessary, locations considered for relocation once the thaw begins. The mountain man studies notes from prior years, recalling patterns of animal movement, subtle signs remembered, tracks in snow now interpreted as whispers of future abundance. Firewood is managed for long-term use. Extra logs split and stacked strategically, ensuring that fuel will last through the coldest, wettest weeks. Each log placed with care, each decision deliberate, conserving strength while maximizing efficiency. The mountain man also reviews tool maintenance, sharpening knives and axes, checking rifle and flint, preparing for a season of labor, hunting, and movement. Every item accounted for, every detail deliberate, a rhythm of preparation unfolding even in isolation. He moves slowly through the cabin, checking caches of food, counting rations, reorganizing for efficiency. Conserving energy now ensures readiness for the demands of the months ahead. The act of planning is meditative, a quiet assertion of control against the wild. Evening arrives, the storm continues outside, muffled winds and drifting snow creating a white cocoon. Inside, the cabin glows with light and warmth. The mountain man prepares simple meals, preserves energy, nourishes both body and mind. Reflecting on progress, the shelter, the caches, the tools, all evidence of deliberate skill and foresight. Journaling remains a quiet ritual. Notes on weather patterns, trap locations, and future plans are recorded meticulously. Each entry deliberate, each reflection deepens focus, supporting mental clarity and psychological resilience. The act itself a meditation, a rhythm of survival extending beyond the physical. Night deepens, the cabin stands firm. Snow piles high against walls, yet warmth and light persist. The mountain man pauses by the fire, breathing slowly, reflecting on the passage of winter, the lessons learned, the skills honed, the strategies that will guide him into spring. Slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly. In the silence of the stormed wilderness, the mountain man's mind turns to the coming thaw. Every trap, every plan, every observation becomes a bridge between survival now and abundance later. The cabin remains sanctuary, warmth, and preparation a quiet assurance. Survival is not merely endurance, it is foresight, patience, meditation, a rhythm carved into each deliberate act. The long winter slowly loosens its grip. Snow softens along the edges of the forest floor. The first trickles of water begin to flow from melting creeks. The mountain man stands at the cabin door, observing the subtle changes, each sight, each sound, each smell a gentle herald of spring. The air carries the faint scent of thawing earth, damp pine and soft soil emerging beneath snow. Birds return slowly, their calls delicate yet persistent. A soft rhythm in the silence, announcing the renewal of life. The mountain man inhales deeply, allowing the forest's quiet pulse to resonate within him, each breath deliberate, mindful, a meditation on survival and renewal. Inside the cabin, the fire crackles softly, warmth radiating over logs and stone. Yet preparation begins for the seasonal shift. Traps are checked, repaired, and strategically marked for relocation. The mountain man reviews the maps, noting likely pathways for game, each detail observed carefully, each choice deliberate. Each action, a quiet meditation on foresight, patience, and rhythm. The snow outside continues to melt slowly, drifts shrinking, revealing fallen logs, hidden rocks, and small patches of green. The mountain man ventures briefly, snowshoes crunch softly underfoot. Each step measured, checking caches, inspecting early signs of wildlife, fox tracks, rabbit prints, distant deer hoof marks, each observation catalogued mentally, feeding the strategy of survival for the weeks ahead. Back inside, the cabin receives attention as well. The mountain man adjusts logs where slight warping occurred under winter snow, re-inspects gaps, reinforcing insulation where needed. He sweeps floors, tends fire, and organizes supplies. Each movement deliberate, each act meditative, a reflection of care, endurance, and preparation. Meals remain deliberate and simple, preserved meat, dried roots, and any remaining stored game. Each bite savored, nourishment for body and mind. The mountain man maintains a rhythm of rest, work, observation, and reflection. A steady pace that preserves energy while preparing for increased activity as the days lengthen. Evening arrives, the light soft, diffused through thinning clouds. The forest hums quietly with life returning. Inside, the cabin glows with the warm, steady fire. The mountain man sits by the hearth, breathing slowly, reflecting on the winter endured, the lessons learned, the skills honed. The first signs of spring bring hope, a renewed sense of possibility, slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly. Journaling continues, noting weather patterns, animal tracks, and the thawing landscape. Each reflection a meditation, a reinforcement of focus, skill, and preparedness. The cabin, sheltering warmth and order, stands as a testament to resilience and foresight, a quiet home carved from the wilderness. Night falls. The first clear stars of spring appear above. The mountain man leans back, breathing steadily, absorbing the calm, the warmth, the quiet rhythm of survival now entering a new season. Each careful act, each observation, each preparation, a meditation, a bridge between endurance and renewal. In the stillness of the cabin and forest, survival transforms into mastery, isolation into reflection, preparation into anticipation. The mountain man stands ready, body and mind aligned, enduring, deliberate, meditative, resilient. The thaw progresses slowly, snow receding in patches, revealing streams trickling over stones, moss-softened ground, and the first green shoots breaking through frost-hardened earth. The mountain man steps outside the cabin, each step deliberate, snowshoes sliding lightly over damp patches. His breath forms clouds in the crisp air, and every sound, every subtle movement in the forest is observed with patient attention. Traps are reset, the locations carefully chosen along animal paths revealed by melting snow. Rabbit, fox, and the occasional deer, subtle tracks indicate direction and habits. The mountain man notes each one silently, a meditation in observation and quiet understanding. Survival now requires not only skill but patience, every decision deliberate, every action measured. The cabin remains a warm sanctuary, yet its importance extends beyond shelter. It is the base from which all activity radiates. Supplies are checked, food rations evaluated, any remaining winter reserves carefully rotated. Caches reorganized, every act a deliberate measure to balance energy, sustenance, and preparation. Moving through the forest, the mountain man notes changes with quiet mindfulness. The ice along creeks begins to break, water flowing freely, carrying debris and fallen needles. The wind carries sense of early growth, subtle, almost imperceptible, yet it tells a story of life returning. A rabbit's fleeting silhouette, a bird calling from a distant pine. All is observed, catalogued, interpreted, a meditation in anticipation. Back at the cabin, tools are maintained, knives sharpened, rifle inspected, flint checked. Small repairs made, each act deliberate, preserving readiness for work and hunting. Each movement slow, rhythmic, conserving strength, reinforcing mental calm. Meals are simple yet purposeful, preserved meat combined with early foraged greens or roots. Each bite deliberate, nourishment not only for the body but for clarity, focus, and endurance. The mountain man moves slowly, performing tasks with a quiet rhythm, tending fire, preparing supplies, checking traps. Each repetitive motion meditative, reinforcing both mental and physical resilience. Evening brings reflection. The thawed forest glows in softened light. Shadows stretch across the cabin floor. Firelight dances on logs. The mountain man sits quietly, breathing slowly, reflecting on the transition from winter to spring, the endurance of the past weeks, and the anticipation of life returning to the forest. Patience and preparation now meeting opportunity. Slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly. Journaling remains a quiet ritual, tracking animal movements, noting snowmelt patterns, and marking potential new trap locations. Each entry deliberate, a meditation, reinforcing foresight, awareness, and resilience. The cabin, standing firm against winter, now serves as a springboard, a hub for exploration, observation, and careful expansion. Night deepens, stars appear, cold and clear above the thawing wilderness. The mountain man leans back, absorbing the rhythm of life returning. The first signs of renewal bring quiet hope, patience rewarded through careful observation, preparation, and endurance. Slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly. Spring unfolds slowly. The forest awakens, soft and damp. The ice on the river thins, trickles of water flowing over stones. The mountain man stands at the riverbank, observing, listening. Every sound, every ripple, every shadow carries meaning. Each breath deliberate, calm, mindful, attuned to rhythm of returning life. Hunting becomes measured exploration, carefully moving through thawing forest, snow softened beneath snowshoes. Rifle in hand, traps set along well-worn paths. Signs of rabbits, foxes, and deer tell stories of movement and habit. Each observation recorded mentally, the mountain man's mind attuned to forest's quiet pulse, patience and skill intertwined. The river offers both challenge and opportunity. Water rises, swift and cold, ice breaking along edges, small rapids and pools forming. The mountain man steps carefully. Rocks slippery beneath boots. Crossing requires deliberate movements, awareness of current, balance, and caution. Each step a meditation, merging survival with quiet focus. Back on the far bank, traps are inspected, snares adjusted, natural cover considered, logs and brush rearranged to guide animals safely into their paths. Every adjustment precise, each action deliberate, reinforcing the rhythm of survival, patience, skill, and observation all aligned. The cabin remains central, a hub of warmth and planning. The mountain man returns to assess supplies. Meals are simple but deliberate, preserved meat, occasional fresh game, and any early foraged greens. Each bite slow, mindful, nourishment not only for body but for clarity, endurance, and mental focus. Fire tending becomes ritual, embers nurtured to steady glow. Stones positioned for maximum heat reflection. Each act meditative, reinforcing calm and preparedness. Tools checked, sharpened, repaired. Knife, axe, and rifle maintained for upcoming weeks. Every motion slow, deliberate, conserving strength, supporting endurance. Evening falls softly over the thawing forest. Light diffused through mist and early green. The river murmurs steadily, birds call softly. Inside the cabin, firelight dances across logs. The mountain man sits quietly, reflecting on the day's work. traps set, river crossed, careful observation of wildlife and environment, slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly. Journaling becomes essential. Observations recorded, including animal patterns, water levels, weather signs, and trap locations. Each entry a meditation, reinforcing focus, foresight, and mental resilience. The cabin, secure against late spring chills, is sanctuary and base for calculated exploration, a bridge between survival and mastery of environment. Night deepens. The river flows gently under the pale moonlight. The forest rests, and the mountain man leans back, absorbing the rhythm of life returning. Preparedness and observation merge with patient endurance. The day's efforts, deliberate and mindful, ensure readiness for challenges ahead. Slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly. The thought continues. The forest stirs gently. Small streams gurgle with melted snow. Sunlight glimmers on the wet rocks. The mountain man moves slowly along the riverbank, each step deliberate, boots sinking slightly into soft, damp earth. Every sound, every ripple in the water, every rustle of newly emerged leaves, observed, absorbed, a meditation in patience and awareness. Fishing becomes a measured art. The mountain man chooses calm pools along the river, smooth stones forming natural edges. A carefully crafted line, bait secured, each movement deliberate, every cast a quiet observation of water flow, shadow, and current. Patience guides the rhythm, waiting, watching, listening, learning the subtle habits of fish beneath the cold, clear water. Meanwhile, the forest offers early foraging opportunities. Tender shoots of wild greens, buds of edible plants, bark and roots carefully harvested. The mountain man moves quietly, avoiding trampling fragile growth, each choice mindful, preserving the balance of the environment. Every gathered item a small meditation, sustaining body while honoring the rhythm of life returning. The cabin remains sanctuary, a place to warm, process food, and reflect on the day. Fish cleaned, prepared over the fire, roots and greens washed and stored. Every task deliberate, every motion reinforcing calm, focus, and endurance. The warmth of the cabin contrasts the crisp, early spring air, a reminder of safety and preparation. Fire tending is quiet ritual, embers arranged for steady heat. Stones reflecting warmth across the cabin floor. Each act deliberate, meditative, reinforcing the connection between effort and survival. Tools are checked, sharpened, repaired. Knives, flint, and axe maintained with care. Each motion slow, conserving energy, supporting physical and mental endurance. Meals are simple, mindful, and nourishing. Fresh fish roasted over the fire. Preserved meat and gathered greens accompany it. Each bite deliberate, nourishment not only for body but for clarity, patience, and strength. The mountain man moves rhythmically through the cabin, checking traps, arranging supplies, tending fire, every repetitive action a meditation, reinforcing resilience and calm. Evening falls softly over the forest. Light glimmers through newly budding trees. Streams glisten as the water flows. Inside the cabin glows warmly. The mountain man sits by the hearth, reflecting on the day's harvest. The fish caught, the greens gathered, the forest observed, slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly. Journaling remains essential. Notes on river conditions, fish activity, foraged plants, and weather patterns recorded carefully. Each entry deliberate, a meditation in observation, foresight, and mental focus. The cabin stands firm, warm, organized, a hub for skillful observation, patient preparation, and survival. Night deepens. The streams continue their gentle flow. The forest rests. The mountain man leans back, absorbing the rhythm of life, returning each deliberate act, each observation, each careful harvest, reinforcing calm, focus, and endurance. Slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly. Spring continues its slow, quiet march. Snow retreats gradually, revealing soft earth, budding plants, and the gentle flow of streams. The mountain man steps out from his cabin, boots sinking slightly into thawing soil, each movement deliberate, each breath drawn slowly. The forest speaks in subtle sounds. Distant bird calls, dripping water from melting branches, the rustle of unseen animals, each note observed, absorbed, a meditation in attention and patience. Today's task is expansion. New areas beyond familiar paths will be explored, every ridge, valley, and creek examined with care. Observation is deliberate. The mountain man notes subtle tracks, broken twigs, footprints softened in mud. Each mark interpreted silently, a story of movement and habits in the forest, patience and focus entwined. New traps are set thoughtfully, positioned along animal paths revealed by thawing snow. Rabbits, foxes, and deer are considered, each trap concealed naturally using logs, brush, and shadows. Each act requires precision, care, and awareness. Every movement slow, conserving energy, reinforcing a rhythm of endurance. Each trap a meditation, a balance of skill, foresight, and survival. The cabin remains central, a place of warmth, organization, and reflection. Supplies are reviewed, food carefully rationed. Meals prepared deliberately to preserved meat, early caught fish, and tender greens. Every bite measured, nourishing both body and mind. The fire crackles softly, casting warmth and light across the logs, a reminder of stability in the midst of the forest's quiet challenge. Tool maintenance is equally deliberate. Knives are sharpened, flint checked, rifle cleaned. Each act meditative, supporting readiness, skill, and clarity of mind. Movements are rhythmic, conserving strength, reinforcing both physical and mental endurance. Preparing for days of careful observation, movement, and labor. Observation continues throughout the day. Animal behavior, water flow, wind direction, and distant sounds are noted. Subtle changes in vegetation, shadows, and tracks inform trap placement and exploration. Each observation strengthens understanding of the forest, a meditative practice in patience and attentiveness. Evening arrives, light softens, shadows lengthen across the thawing forest. Streams shimmer in fading sunlight. The mountain man returns to the cabin, tending fire, preparing food, arranging supplies. Each motion deliberate, measured, reinforcing calm, focus, and endurance. Journaling remains vital. New trap locations, animal activity, and terrain notes recorded carefully. Each entry deliberate, reinforcing foresight, preparation, and mental resilience. The cabin, secure and warm, is sanctuary, a hub for observation, planning, and survival. Slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly. Night deepens, moonlight filters through thinning branches. The forest rests. The mountain man sits by the fire, reflecting on the day's expansion. The new traps set, the forest observed. Every deliberate act, every careful observation, every measured step, a meditation, a rhythm of survival, endurance, and mastery. Slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly. The first light of dawn filters softly through the trees. The forest stretches awake, birds calling gently, water trickling over rocks, and the faint rustle of small animals beginning their day. The mountain man rises quietly in his cabin, each movement deliberate, stretching slowly, feeling the warmth of the fire behind him and the crisp, damp scent of the thawing forest before him. Today brings promise. The mountain man sets out along well-known paths, observing tracks from the previous days, rabbit prints, fox paw marks, and the faint signs of deer movement guide his steps. Each motion is careful, every breath taken with attention, patience and awareness intertwined, a meditation in movement. Hunting begins in rhythm with the forest. A rabbit appears in the soft morning light. The mountain man moves silently, positioning carefully. A slow exhale, and the shot finds its mark. Success is quiet, deliberate, survival achieved through focus, patience, and skill. The catch is handled respectfully, nourishing body and reinforcing the careful, deliberate practice of living in the wilderness. The river offers further opportunity. Early spring fish move closer to the thawed edges. The mountain man casts his line with care, observing the water, the reflections, the subtle currents. A bite, a gentle tug. Fish brought carefully to shore. Each catch a meditation in skill and patience, nourishment earned through quiet observation and deliberate action. Returning to the cabin, the mountain man moves slowly, boots soft on the damp earth, the forest alive with gentle motion. Each step deliberate, each thought measured. Supplies are prepared, meals cooked over the fire, preserved meat, fresh fish, early greens from the forest. Each bite mindful, a rhythm of sustenance, endurance, and reflection. The cabin itself becomes a space of quiet meditation. Fire crackling, warmth radiating across logs and stone. Tools maintained, knives sharpened, rifle cleaned, flint checked. Every act deliberate, supporting preparedness, focus, and endurance. Every motion slow, conserving energy, reinforcing rhythm, reinforcing resilience. Evening falls, soft light filtered through budding trees. Shadows stretch across the cabin floor. The mountain man sits by the hearth, reflecting on the day's successes, the hunted game, the fish, the forest observed. He reviews notes in his journal, marking animal behavior, weather, and new opportunities for traps. Each entry deliberate, a meditation in observation, patience, and foresight. Night deepens, the forest quiets, the river murmurs softly. Moonlight casts silver shadows over the cabin. The mountain man leans back, breathing slowly, reflecting on survival, skill, and the rhythm of life in the wilderness. Each act of hunting, trapping, and observation, each deliberate motion, each measured thought, a meditation, a bridge between endurance and mastery. Slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly. The cabin, standing firm and warm, embodies both sanctuary and practice, a place where survival, skill, and quiet reflection merge. The first signs of spring bring hope, patience rewarded through careful observation, preparation, and mindful endurance. Spring arrives slowly, bringing both renewal and challenge. Snow melts in patches, yet early storms sweep through the forest. Cold winds and sudden rains test the cabin's endurance. The mountain man rises before dawn, boots soft on damp earth, his breath misting in the cool morning air. Every step deliberate, every movement slow and mindful. The cabin requires attention. Loose shingles are adjusted, bark roofing replaced where water seeps through. Logs reinforced with mud, moss, and pine needles. Every motion deliberate, rhythmic, a meditation in patience and resilience. Fire is tended carefully, embers nurtured to steady glow, sustaining warmth for both body and spirit. Tools are checked and maintained, knives sharpened, flint prepared, axe inspected. Each act meditative, supporting preparedness and calm. Meals are simple, preserved meat and early foraged greens, nourishment measured carefully, sustaining both body and mental clarity. The mountain man moves through the forest to gather firewood, branches damp with rain, each movement slow, careful, preserving energy while attending to necessity. Returning to the cabin, he observes the forest, listening to bird calls, rustling leaves, the rhythm of renewal balanced with caution, patience, and endurance intertwined. Evening comes softly, light filtering through budding trees, firelight dancing on log walls. The cabin, secure and warm, a sanctuary against the spring storm. The mountain man sits quietly, reflecting, observing the rhythm of the forest, maintaining balance between effort and calm. Slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly, the forest hums with quiet life. Tracks emerge in soft, thawing soil. Rabbit, fox, and deer paths reveal themselves to the patient observer. The mountain man moves silently, setting new traps, adjusting old ones, every placement deliberate, precise, patience guiding each motion. Hunting is meditative, each step slow, deliberate, observing, waiting, listening. Small successes reinforce skill and awareness. Rabbits trapped, fish caught, deer glimpsed across open clearings. Every capture handled with care, respect for life, and gratitude for sustenance. The cabin remains central, supplies organized, meals prepared, fire maintained. Every motion reinforcing rhythm, focus, and endurance. Journaling notes the day's activities, animal patterns, trap locations, weather observations. Each entry deliberate, a meditation in foresight and planning. Evening softens the forest. Shadow stretch. Streams glisten in fading light. The mountain man sits by the hearth, reflecting on survival, skill, and patient observation. Slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly. Rivers swell with melted snow, currents swift, water cold and clear. The mountain man approaches cautiously, stepping on slippery stones, every movement calculated, observing reflections, currents, and subtle disturbances. Each crossing a meditation, balancing skill, patience, and safety. Fishing continues. Lines cast into calm pools, gentle tug signals success. Each catch handled with care, nourishment earned through observation and focus. The river teaches lessons, patience, timing, and understanding the rhythms of water and life within it. Returning to the cabin, the mountain man warms by the fire, food prepared with care, tools maintained, each movement slow, deliberate, and meditative. Evening arrives with soft light, forest resting, streams murmuring. Journaling reinforces foresight, skill, and calm endurance. Tender shoots emerge, buds swell, early berries appear. The mountain man moves carefully, observing plant growth, wildlife activity, every choice deliberate. Foraging is measured, each plant recognized, harvested mindfully, preserving both life and sustenance. The cabin remains central, meals prepared, supplies organized, fire maintained. Each motion deliberate, supporting survival, rhythm, and mental clarity. Journaling records plant locations, growth stages, and animal observations. Every entry reinforcing patience, foresight, and endurance. Evening descends softly, forest quiets, reflections on renewal, survival, and observation. Slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly. Spring rains challenge the cabin. The mountain man strengthens the structure, adds small storage, reinforces the floor, simple furniture created from split logs. Each motion deliberate, reinforcing shelter, comfort, and security. Fire maintained, warmth radiating, meals prepared with care. Every act deliberate, a meditation in survival and skill. Evening brings reflection. Cabin secure, forest renewing, patience and effort rewarded through resilience and calm. Slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly. A passing trapper appears on familiar paths, cautious greetings exchanged, brief companionship formed. Knowledge and news shared, food and warmth briefly exchanged. Each interaction deliberate, reinforcing trust, survival, and human connection. The mountain man reflects on the value of cooperation and temporary alliance. Slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly. Journaling becomes ritual. Observations of wildlife, weather, and survival strategies recorded meticulously. Thoughts on isolation, endurance, and mastery of the environment. The cabin, a sanctuary, a hub for reflection, patience, awareness, and quiet meditation. Slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly. Predators observed, a distant wolf, a cautious fox, vigilance maintained, subtle cues in the forest interpreted carefully. Each movement deliberate, preparation balanced with observation. Survival remains quiet and meditative. The cabin, central to security and rhythm. Slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly. Forest fully renewing, streams flowing, plants budding, animals active. The mountain man moves with rhythm, traps set, foraging complete, river crossing safe. The fire's glow softens as night deepens. Shadows stretch gently across the cabin walls. Outside the forest rests. Streams murmur quietly. Leaves whisper in a gentle evening breeze. The mountain man sits calmly by the hearth, breathing slowly, letting the rhythm of survival, skill, and quiet endurance settle within. Throughout the seasons, winter's harsh bite, the solitude of snowbound days, spring's thaw and gentle rains, he has learned patience, observation, and reverence. The cabin stands firm, not merely as shelter, but as a sanctuary, a space shaped by hands, knowledge, and care. Every log, every notch, every small detail, a testament to resilience, to the quiet mastery of living in harmony with a wild, indifferent wilderness. The forest, too, has been a teacher. Streams flowing, animals moving, plants unfolding. Each moment observed, each step deliberate. The mountain man's days have become rituals, tending fire, preparing meals, maintaining tools, journaling observations. Movements slow, intentional, each breath, each step, each action a meditation, reinforcing endurance, focus, and clarity. Companionship was fleeting, brief encounters with passing trappers or travelers. Yet even these moments emphasize the importance of trust, cooperation, and shared understanding. Each interaction, remembered and valued, a gentle reminder that even in isolation, humanity finds its quiet threads. Now, sitting by the warm hearth, the wind softly rustling the trees outside, the mountain man reflects on survival, on mastery, on life carefully observed and intentionally lived. The wilderness is vast, unpredictable, demanding. Yet through patience, skill, and enduring focus, it becomes a rhythm, a measured dance, a life of quiet mastery and gentle observation. The cabin, now fully settled, hearth glowing, traps productive, provisions stored, life in balance, stands as both a home and a testament to endurance, resourcefulness, and reverent patience. The mountain man leans back, breath slow, steady, mind calm, body rested, a soft smile of satisfaction and quiet gratitude. As night deepens, stars appear softly above the forest canopy. The mountain man closes his journal, securing the day's observations. Every log, every tool, every carefully placed snare, a small victory, a moment of quiet mastery. Slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly, he prepares for rest, for tomorrow's rhythm, in harmony with the forest, the cabin, and the enduring flow of life. Sleep descends gently, the fire crackles once more, outside, the forest whispers. The mountain man rests, safe, warm, resilient, kind of a life earned, deliberate, and meditative, slowly, deliberately, meditatively, enduringly.